Hello everybody, it's May 13th, 2022. That escalated quickly, didn't it? We're going to take a look at Bitcoin here. First up, what I said on Friday. We were looking at the fact that the previous Monday, Bitcoin crashed 2K down to that 29.3K level and then was chopping around for a while. It went back up to 31, but finally broke that 29.3, right? So I was maintaining that, if we could see a sustained break of 29.3, we could proceed downwards to give us that final low. And at the time, I was thinking, 22 to 23K is the target for that low. Now, obviously, we are a bit below that now. Bitcoin loves to do that and loves to exceed expectations, both bullishly and bearishly at the tops and bottoms. You get those big nasty wicks. So I continue to suggest not leverage trading this, especially at a long side, and to be honest, not really leverage trading short anymore unless you're holding on to short still from higher up. But I wouldn't suggest trying to build new leverage short positions at the current moment, because this, when it does bounce, and I do still maintain that we will see a bounce, when it does, it can be extremely violent and it will destroy a lot of shorts. So just keep that in mind. All right. So anyway, this doesn't apply. I thought we were going to keep seeing choppy action, but obviously we didn't. We're seeing a direct flush out to the bottom, so that's fine with me. I was holding leverage short positions. I have now taken profit on all of those and I'm accumulating. So I am, for the first time in 6 months, since December, I am net long on crypto for the first time. So I don't have all of my cash in, but I do have a fair amount of it in at this point, since I sold it in December. All right, so earlier today I sent out an alert to members. I put this red box on here, right here, and said if we can't break through that, we're in danger of making a new low, because this could potentially be an extension on this third wave, with this being the fourth, right? So we hadn't actually finished this fifth wave down, and of course that seems to be what has happened now. We are extending that downwards. This green box is the target now for that fifth, so that's 19.9 to 20, right about where we are right now, 21 basically. So we are hitting the very top of that box. Is that going to be it, or are we going to have to extend that downwards again? Remains to be seen. We really don't have an answer yet on that. We have no confirmed bottom at the moment. I do maintain that we are likely getting towards the bottom of this correction and should see a strong reaction to the upside at some point in time. And I am going to show a couple things here that I've never shared publicly before. A couple of reasons that I am thinking that. First one, let's just go chart wise. Basically, in the last video I did do an update, the last public video, of the macro viewpoint. I'd done, when things start, kind of not making sense, I like to pull back and say, all right, where could I be wrong in my previous analysis, right? The previous analysis said this was the major third wave off the December 18 low. We were still within it, but breaking below 24K has pretty much invalidated that. So I have to view this as the major third now, right? And that means we're in a more major fourth, and this is not invalidated until about 15.7. So it does have room for this to still be an impulsive move up, right? And impulsive moves do not end on three waves. And I don't think there's anyone in the world that would say Bitcoin is not an impulse. It clearly is. Since its inception, it has been doing impulsive moves. This is obviously the Binance chart. The Binance Tether chart is, it cuts off here around 2017, but since its inception it has done some very clear impulses. So there's no reason to think that this is not going to do an impulse up. Impulsive moves do not end on three waves. That's all we have. That's three waves. We need a fifth. Okay, so that's honestly the largest and most glaring thing that's smacking me in the face right now, saying this is not a complete bull run. We do still need a new high. Can I be wrong? Yeah, of course, anything's possible. Below that 15.7 level would invalidate that, and I don't exactly know what I would view it as then. Let me just quickly here look. I think, yeah, we're already kind of beyond where that diagonal should take us, but it could be doing a broadening wedge, something like this. If it comes down below that level, it could be doing kind of a megaphone something or other, broadening wedge, complex pattern. That would be the worst case scenario. Probably I would still expect to see another high, but I'm gonna say there's a 95% chance we still see a new high at this point. There's a 5% chance, I guess, like anything, that it could just die. I don't see that being a possibility based on the chart that I'm looking at. All right, and all of the other indications that I'm looking at. But if we break 15.7, I'm not going to be happy, and I will dump all of the crypto that I've now accumulated in this region, and I will take the hit. That's going to be a potentially 25% hit. Okay, and that is why I'm not doing leverage. I'm doing spot buys only. Right? If I take a 25% hit, it would suck, but that's what risk management is for. It's all right. I won't be bankrupt at that point. So, all right, let's look at some other things that are telling me the bottom is in. Right? Number one, volume. Okay, every capitulation event has a volume spike. We've got volume spike right there. Volume spike right here. That was the bottom, previous 30K bottom before we went up to 69K. We've not reached that yet on here. We haven't reached those highs yet on here, but that is a pretty decent volume spike. It's well above the background noise. Now, here's the crazy thing. This is just the Binance chart. There are multiple exchanges out there. TradingView allows you to add exchanges together. So here are 6 of the largest exchanges that I've added together here, and then divide by 6 to get the average price. So the average price globally right now is about 21,074. Take a look at that volume. We have never seen volume. This is across exchanges. We've never seen volume like that before. Right? Previous capitulations, in fact, were here, and this one wasn't even the bottom. The bottom actually happened back here, that previous one. So anyway, the volume on this is absolutely gigantic, and you would certainly expect to see something like that at or very, very near to the bottom. All right, so that's the first thing there, or the second thing rather. The first thing is that we don't end a bull market on 5 or on 3 waves. Second thing is volume is absolutely insane right here, and that's a daily candle from yesterday, right? Does that mean that we're going up immediately? No, of course not. I mean, we can certainly see more capitulation downwards and further volume spikes there, but it certainly signifies to me that a ton of leverage longs, a ton of leverage positions, a ton of spot positions, basically just a ton of volume has closed out and or exchanged hands. So that's a big signal. All right, and then this is something that I've never shown to the public before. The members of my group know it well. This is the weekly bottom finder chart that I have on here. Okay, and this chart is powerful. I want to go back here. This is the Bitstamp chart, so it shows from the beginning of time for Bitcoin. All right, it shows basically on each of these indicators, red, when it spikes into red, it's a sell. When it spikes into the green, it's a buy, historically on the weekly chart. Okay, so right here, we can see back in 2015, RSI is bottomed out right around 28 or whatever. We're down here on this indicator right here, and we're spiking into the green zone here for this indicator. Okay, major macro bottom, major macro bottom, major macro bottom, giant bull run follows. Okay, the sells, obviously, especially during this time, sell signals were kind of odd, but this is why it's important to see all three of them line up. All right, that says sell. Let's see where one. This maybe says sell, right? This hasn't hit the red line yet, doesn't say sell, right? We didn't see all three of them line up until right here, okay, which still wasn't the major macro top, was certainly, you know, kind of warning to us, and there was a big dump that happened there. And then we had another giant sell signal right here at the actual macro top on that blow off. Okay, so I'm showing you historically how powerful this has been. All right, 2018 low, 2018 low right here. RSI in the green. This indicator's in the green. This indicator spiked to the green line. Major macro bottom, giant bull run. Okay, what happened with the COVID crash? Spike to the green, touch the green, touch the green. You seeing where I'm going with this? I think you are. Where are we right now? We are on the RSI lower than we have ever been before. Here, we've touched the green. And then this entire time period, this touched, but red had not. Guess what red just did? As of yesterday, touched the green line. Okay, this is very, very likely a major macro bottom for multiple reasons, including this chart that has been extremely powerful historically for Bitcoin. So there you have it. Major macro bottom is being struck as we speak. And as long as we remain above 15.7, I'm going to say that is true. And honestly, even below 15.7, like let's just say this goes friggin' crazy and breaks down below that. Okay, you know, that means to me, maybe we don't get a new high, but with the extent of the oversold nature, especially on that weekly chart that we've seen, even a spike down below this is probably going to be followed by a giant bear market rally. Yeah, we might be in a bear market, but there are bear market rallies that happen during bear markets. And if my buys are in this area and it goes up here, I still make profit. So that is something to consider as well. With those spot buys, obviously everybody needs to make their own plan and be happy and comfortable with that plan. Final thing, Bitcoin RSI on the daily had a nice little breakout, daily breakout that happened here when we had that little pump up to 34 or whatever, and we are just now coming down to retest that. Okay, and at the moment, let me see, are we still above? We're currently not above that level. All right, so I'm not really seeing a daily divergence. That would have sealed the deal if we saw a daily divergence here, although we still potentially could. Hang on, let me look. Yeah, it's pretty much a double bottom on the RSI. So RSI doesn't confirm until it's closed, right? So this last day stopped right there. This is what's happening at the current moment, but if we pump from here, this can reverse and go up by tomorrow. So that may in fact, tell us that, hey, bottom is actually struck already. And if it did, this would then be a double bottom on the RSI, which is a divergence because we have, zoom out here, thank you, because we have a lower low on price, an equal low on RSI. So if tomorrow's daily candle is green, that would potentially give us a very good indication that bottom has already been struck. Now the best indication the bottom has been struck is going to be when we see an impulsive move, which I have not yet seen. And let me do this. We're just going to end the video here by bringing this danger zone down. So I'm just going to keep doing this as it makes new lows. Here's what I'm thinking. This is wave 1, this is wave 2. Of that I'm pretty certain. Wave 3, okay, hopefully it ended there. That was 4 and this was 5. Okay, because we're looking for a completion of that. Once 5 ends, bottom should be in. We just cannot be sure of when 5 is ending quite yet. So here's the thing. Did 3 just end there, right? If it goes further, is 3 ending there? Do we still have a 4 and a 5 to go? Because, to be perfectly honest with you, here's the one bearish thing that I'm going to say. Potentially, we should have hit this red box if that was going to be 4. And it didn't quite get there. It's a little shy of it. So obviously I'm not shorting based on that. But it is something we need to keep in mind. That was a little shy there. So it's possible that 3 is continuing to extend. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep dragging a fib down basically until it breaks through the 0.5 fib, which is where this red line was before. So I'm going to remove that. We're going to just move that danger zone box down. So let's just pretend for a moment that's the end of 3, which I'm not convinced of. It may just be done already. But pretend that that's the end of 3 so that we have some criteria here for what to look for. Okay, if that's the end of 3 and we still have another wave down still, danger zone now is right here between 22.7 and 24.4. Okay, that's the danger zone. And the 0.5 fib is right here, 25.6. So above 25.6 would indicate potentially bottom is already in. Above 25.6 with an impulse would be a slam dunk, right? If we can see something like this, 5 waves up above 25.6, boom. Next pullback is a strong buy. strong buy, right? And when I draw this, I'm not saying it's going to go to 29.2. I'm not saying exactly that's where it's going to go. We have to wait and see how it forms. But that is pretty much our parameter right now. If we reject this zone, we can continue down further. That down further would actually lead us here, 17.7 to 18.8. So if we reject the danger zone, we're going down further, probably to 17 or 18K. All right, because that would then be the 5th wave here. All right, so again, I'm not convinced one way or the other. At this point, if we've already bottomed or if we have further to go, to me, honestly, it doesn't really matter. What matters is we're at a macro bottom, very, very likely at a macro bottom, and I'm accumulating, getting ready for the next run. All right, guys. Hopefully that made sense to everybody. Hopefully it was helpful to you. Maybe a little bit of glimmer of hope here for anybody still holding. And hopefully prevent some people from capitulating at the bottom here that will be sad if and when this bounces. That's what I'm looking at. All right, everybody. Make sure you hit subscribe, okay? And I'll tell you what, if you don't subscribe now, when this thing bounces, you better subscribe. And then suggested video here is just the last one that I did. I am going to rework the 100K video that I've done previously to deal with the new situation that I'm looking at. So I'll rework that one in a little bit and I'll post that. All right, everybody, have a good night, and I'll talk to you on Friday.